Hello friends, in previous videos we had learned about boiler troubles like sludges and scales and boiler corrosion. Today we are going to discuss about the caustic embrittlement and priming and forming. So let us know what is caustic embrittlement at first. The caustic embrittlement is a type of stress corrosion. Here, the boiler material become brittle on a reaction with caustic substances, or else we can say that if there is caustic substances present in the water, that leads to corrosion. Before, in the previous video, we were talking about acids causing corrosion. Here we are talking about basic substances that is causing corrosion. Now, suppose we are taking sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate is generally added for softening of water sometimes and may be present even after the process is complete. This sodium carbonate undergo decomposition to give sodium hydroxide and carbon dioxide. This sodium hydroxide, see, you can see sodium carbonate will react with water to form sodium hydroxide and carbon dioxide. This sodium hydroxide so form makes the water alkaline and causes the caustic embrittlement. You can say that these sodium hydroxide will penetrate into the hair cracks present in the boiler. You can see here, this is, suppose this is a scale boiler and this is a scale, and due to thermal shocks, that is variation in the temperatures, there may be some cracks formed, cracks, or we can say hair cracks formed, and the sodium hydroxide containing water will go deep into this boiler material, these cracks, and will reach to the boiler material. Now, when it reaches to the boiler material, because of high temperature of boiler material, there may be evaporation of water. Or else we can say that here the concentration of sodium hydroxide becomes more because water is evaporated. And if we compare here at the plane surfaces, the concentration of sodium hydroxide is less. So there is two regions formed here. Here the area where the concentration of sodium hydroxide is less, and here in the near cracks, inside the cracks, there is area where the sodium hydroxide concentration is more. So because of the presence of these two different areas, there may be formation of cells, or else we can say that one part will act as anode and the other part, which is in contact with lower concentration of sodium hydroxide, will become another cathode. So this anode cathode formation will lead to the corrosion, which you call it as the embrittlement of the boiler material, or caustic embrittlement, we can say. Let us explain all in detail more. See, the water containing, we can take another example here. I'm showing another diagram. The water containing sodium hydroxide will penetrate into these hair cracks, you can see. Okay, this is a boiler and I'm taking the scales. Scales are cracked because of thermal variations, and these sodium hydroxide containing water will be penetrating into the cracks. Now, when the water gets evaporated, because when it comes in touch with the boiler material and the boiler material is too hot, and that there will be evaporation of water. When the water gets evaporated, the concentration of the sodium hydroxide, dissolved sodium hydroxide, increases at these places. This will lead to formation of a concentration cell, we can say, or else we can say we have two different areas here with higher concentration of sodium hydroxide, and the area where plane surfaces where lower concentration of sodium hydroxide will be present. So this two different concentrations of sodium hydroxide causes cell formation, or else you can say the one which is in higher concentration of sodium hydroxide will act as anode, and the plain surfaces where there is concentration of sodium hydroxide is low, that will act as cathode. And anode means there will be oxidation taking place. Oxidation means loss of electron. Loss of electrons means it is nothing but the corrosion process. Now see, the cell formation will be like this. As I have explained, there may be any places. Generally, this type of situation occurs at bends, joints, rivets, or cranks. Okay, all this area where there may be possibility of formation of higher concentration of sodium hydroxide, or else the metal iron is in contact with the higher concentrated sodium hydroxide. Okay, see, concentrated sodium hydroxide, and the other part, that is iron at plain surfaces, that will be in contact with dilute sodium hydroxide concentration. So there is difference in concentration of sodium hydroxide, or you can say that there is formation of concentration cell. Generally, such type of formation takes place in the stressed part. So we can say that this is the, even there is cause of stress corrosion also. So all these rivets, joints, bends, and all other stressed part which is in contact with concentrated sodium hydroxide will act as anode. So we can say that caustic embrittlement is a type of stress corrosion, and it is caused because of the concentration cell corrosion. Okay, both there are cases. The concentrated alkali dissolves as iron. See what are the reactions taking place. The iron will react with sodium hydroxide to form sodium ferroate. Okay, iron will react with, Fe will react with sodium hydroxide in presence of water to form sodium ferroate. Sodium ferroate will react further with water to form sodium hydroxide, Fe3O4, and hydrogen. Now, you can see this sodium ferroate will react with, if there is more amount of oxygen, it forms more sodium hydroxide, you can see. Okay, so 6 sodium ferroate is giving 12 sodium hydroxide. 3 sodium ferroate is giving 6 sodium hydroxide. We can say that if there is sodium hydroxide, iron is reacting with sodium hydroxide to form sodium ferroate. It means that iron is changed into sodium ferroate, means there is corrosion. Okay, so iron has reacted with something else to form some other product, so it has got already destructed. Now you can see in the product itself there is formation of sodium hydroxide. So more sodium hydroxide is produced during the process itself. So iron will react with more amount of sodium hydroxide to form more amount of sodium ferroate. So this process will go on continue if there is sodium hydroxide present, because in the reaction itself there is formation of sodium hydroxide. So the regeneration of the sodium hydroxide and precipitation of Fe3O4 will go on, and there will be dissolution of iron because of the formation of the sodium ferroate, because iron will react with sodium hydroxide to form sodium ferroate, and there is dissolution. Now, how can we prevent caustic embrittlement? At first, we need to maintain the pH. Okay, pH should be neutral, because there is corrosion when it is acidic in nature. There is corrosion if the pH is high, and if there is formation of sodium alkalic substance, like if there is presence of alkali substances like sodium hydroxide, there is formation of there is a problem of caustic embrittlement. So it is better to maintain a pH of 8 instead of adjusting it to the acidic side or the basic side. Or else we can use, instead of sodium carbonate, we can use sodium hydroxide for the softening process. Okay, internal conditioning process or internal softening process, we add sodium carbonate, but instead of sodium carbonate we can use sodium phosphate, so that formation of sodium hydroxide will maybe reduced. Okay, now certain substances like jelly substances like tannin, lignin, or else sodium sulfate, all these substances can block the hair cracks. so that sodium hydroxide will not go into these cracks and there will not be any cell formation. So we can avoid, by that way, we can avoid the cell formation and we can prevent the caustic embrittlement. So these cracks can be blocked by using this jelly substances. The next boiler trouble that we are going to discuss is priming, forming, and carryover. Now, see what is priming and what is forming and what is meant by carryover. The process of wet steam formation is nothing but called as priming. That is, along with steam, if there is, along with the steam produced in the boiler, and if there are water droplets going along with steam, or we can say if there is wet steam formation, we call it as priming. So when does it happen? When the steam is produced rapidly, the droplets will be carried along with steam. Okay, and the droplets may carry even the suspended matter present in water, hardness producing salts in the boiler along with them, and this will deposit here and there and will cause even more troubles, like corrosion problems will be there, will be choking problems, etc. Okay, now formation of stable foam or bubbles in the boiler is nothing but called as forming. That is, there is formation of lather formation is there. So if there is lather formation or bubble formation or foam formation in the boiler, we call them as forming. Okay, and generally these type of bubbles are formed due to the difference in surface tensions, and it do not break up easily. And the forming is caused due to presence of oil and alkalis in the boiler water, because these are the main causes for the lather formation or bubble formation. It reduces the surface tension of the water and thus increasing the forming tendency of the water. So the presence of these oils and alkalis will reduce the surface tension and will increase the bubble formation or lather formation, or there may be stable foam or bubbles formed in the boiler, which we call it as forming. The phenomenon of carrying over water along with impurities by steam is called as carryover. So the impurity suspended particles and all, these will be carried along with this steam, and the process we call it as the carrying over. When the priming and forming both occur together, there will be surely there will be a phenomenon of carrying over. That is, carrying over of all the impurities along with this steam. The suspended solids are responsible for carryover rather than the dissolved solids. Okay, and carryover decreases the efficiency of the boiler, and there will be difficulty in the operation also. You can see this is nothing but the priming. Okay, you can see water droplets are going along with steam. This is the lather formation. That is, this is nothing but the forming. And there is carry over along with all the suspended particles are carried over. That is, the impurities are carried over along with steam. We call it as carryover. Now, priming is due to large amount of impurities in water, sudden boiling temperature, high steam velocities, improper design of boiler. Okay, all mainly these three are the reasons due to which there is priming. That is, wet steam formation is due to presence of large amount of impurities in water, or high steam velocities, or there is sudden boiling. Speed of boiling is if it is more, or else there is a problem of the design of the boiler. It can be avoided by using softened water at first, because if there is less impurities, the chances of priming is less. If the water level is low in the boiler, that also will avoid priming. Design of the boiler should be proper. Steam velocities should be controlled, and if you can fit mechanical steam purifiers so as to reduce or remove the impurities, then we can this priming can be controlled. Foaming is due to presence of oils and alkalis, as I have already discussed, because it decreases the surface tension and there will be formation of lather. Now, foaming can be avoided by adding compounds like sodium aluminate, which removes oil from the water. Or we can add anti-foaming agents like castor oil. Castor oil, this spreads on the water surface, neutralizes the effect of oil on the surface tension. If there is no decrease in surface tension, there will not be any lather formation. And if there is less lather formation, means we are able to control the foaming. Generally, priming and foaming occur together. So I said, because of this, there will be carryover also in the large scale. Now, these dissolved salts will be carried along with this water droplets or steam, and it will get deposited on the turbine blades, superheaters. Even the bubbles will entrap these impurities and will deposit at various machinery parts. It decreases the efficiency and life of the boiler. It increases the corrosion tendency of the metal also. So the life of the boiler will be reduced because of the priming, foaming or carryover process. Now carryover can be avoided by controlling the foaming using anti-foaming reagents. As I have already discussed, some of the chemicals will counteract with the reduction in the surface tension, and if there is reduction in the surface tension, if it is not reduced, there will not be any chances of the lather formation. By filtration or softening process, we can prevent the accumulation of the fine particles, very fine particles, or even the suspended particles. This also will reduce the carryover, because these particles will be taken by these bubbles, or we can say the foam, the lather, and even the wet steam formation. These water droplets will be carrying over all these particle suspended matter and will be deposited here and there to cause problems in the boiler. And even soapy water should be avoided, oily water should be avoided. Okay. Even by blow down operation, we can avoid the accumulation of the saline water. That's all for today. Thank you.